I'd like to call the Joint Special School Building Committee to order. We're at the Nashua High School North Lecture Hall. It's Thursday, November 18th, 2021. It's 7 p.m. And this is being telecast. So would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderwoman Wilshire. Here. Alderwoman Klee.
Here.
Alderwoman Liu.
Here.
Alderwoman Harriet Gathright. Ms. Raymond.
Here.
Johnson's not here. Ms. Bishop.
Here.
Ms. Brown.
Here.
Ms. Giglio.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
All right. Would the clerk please lead us in the prayer, and would Ms. Raymond lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Almighty God, we have the high honor and serious duty to manage the educational affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with a spirit of unity and understanding which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all. Let any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. If there are no objections, I will waive the reading of the minutes of October 28, 2021 and November 4th, 2021 and place them on file. Remarks by Chairman. I think you're going to hear a little overview from the architect and the construction manager. Things are going really well at Pennachuck, and they laid these. I won't take their thunder. They can give you the status. So, remarks by school administration. Sharon or Anthony?
I was at Pennachuck today, and I have to, well, at our meeting this morning, and it's going remarkably fast on schedule, and it's beginning to shape up really nicely, so I just wanted to say that. And the principal and assistant principal are very pleased overall.
Anything, Sharon?
I just note, and it shows up on the tail end of your minutes, that the next meeting in December is also earlier than usual. It's on December 16th due to the Christmas holiday.
Rather than Christmas Eve. Okay, so the architect's report. HARRIMAN?
Good evening, everyone. So we were over at Pennachuck, like Alderman Dowd said today, and progress is going quite well. I'll let HARVEY report on what was active there today, but it was good to see the South Addition is mostly closed in. North Addition, there was steel up and other activities on site that were pretty exciting. Things are going smoothly. We continue to make progress on the furniture design. I think last time we spoke, we had some meetings, and those will be continuing after the Thanksgiving break. We are looking to set up another follow-up meeting on the furniture design with the principal and others. So that continues. Over at the new middle school, I think a lot of it's being presented tonight where that kind of stands, but we are continuing efforts with the alteration of terrain resubmission. So I had mentioned before that we are working on that and expecting to get that back quite shortly. But in recent conversations with the NHDES, New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services, they had additional comments that were conveyed over the phone. So we're addressing those and are hoping to meet with them tomorrow to make sure that we've addressed those additional concerns so that we can resubmit those the responses to their comments. And then additionally, the 55 Franklin Street, we're continuing to do site surveys and progress on work. kind of have two projects going there for our firm. We're working with the school district, but we're also working with EEI on their scope. And we've had a few meetings with them and are making some good progress, sharing some information with Sean, who's directing it to the appropriate parties and the directors and stuff of the programs to make sure that the things that we're laying out in there are working with them. So making good progress there. We're looking to have a schematic design for the Nashua School Department side of the work early December. So we continue to make that progress. So, questions?
Okay. Harvey?
Thank you, Alderman Dowd. As you noted, or just noted, we did place the North Addition slab today. We're tracking well ahead of schedule on the North Addition. The overall schedule for the project is going well. We'll be turning over the new chorus addition within the next week or two. We do have all three boilers up and running, and we're working through kind of just chasing around the temperatures in the building, making sure that everyone's comfortable, and that process has been going along for probably about the last few weeks, and we're just working closely with the administration and the staff to make sure everyone's comfortable and the learning environment is up to snuff. So everything, the new bus loop is open, the new entry off of Manchester Street. So there's a little bit of a learning curve with the buses, but it seems to be going well. HARVEY will be keeping our staff at the kind of the turning area just to make sure that everything's going well during construction. And then once the two-lane traffic is open on the south side of the site, we will that should alleviate any concerns with any congestion at the corner there. So that's just something we'll keep an eye on. But other than that, as Alderman Dow noted, everything seems to be going well on site, and the projects, everyone seems happy. So, any questions on Penachuk?
I don't know actually who to address this to. I know-
Mike?
Sorry. One of the concerns, I actually noticed it too, was that we were having a little bit of backup onto Henry Burke with this new bus route, because we still don't have that extra lane, right? We're going to have one more lane eventually.
I'll answer that because, not yesterday. Yeah, yesterday? Days go by so fast.
I know.
I was there and watched the traffic and the buses coming in, and it doesn't back up even to the new bus loop
Right.
at any time, and the traffic seems to flow much better since the buses are all, the 80% of the buses all come in the new bus loop.
Right.
Maybe more than that, but, and that all worked very well, especially with someone from HARVEY on the corner to make sure that if we have a bus driver that drives too fast, it's not an issue.
Yeah, no, just to add to it, I had seen it before
Yeah.
that new opening was, and that's why I just want to know if this was alleviating it. And you answered my question. The answer sounds like yes.
Yeah,
That's a
that's why
good
we
thing, yeah.
pushed to have that bus loop finished.
I appreciate
Not
that.
finished, but at least open. And it works very, very well.
Great.
So I just, yes, Mr. Raymond?
Thank you. I did have a couple of reports from teachers with concerns about construction people not wearing masks in the building and being seen without masks in the building by kids who then don't want to wear their masks either because they're middle schoolers. So just a gentle reminder to make sure that all employees of everybody make sure they have their masks on at all times in the buildings. Obviously, masks are not required outside.
Understood, and that's something that we kind of battle on a daily basis. So we try to, our site staff does a good job of being vigilant, and we always ask that if there are complaints or concerns to just let us know right away. So that's something that we're trying to be vigilant of, especially, I know Principal Falzarano has been very helpful in, just letting us know if there are any concerns. So that's, I appreciate the notification, and we'll definitely keep tracking that.
Yeah, I just heard yesterday, so
Yeah.
I wasn't like sitting on it.
Contractors do not wear masks when they're working in the new additions because that's outside the school.
Right. No, it's in the quarters that I would be concerned about. Especially just, again, middle schoolers can be challenging. It's that developmental age.
Yes, they
So anything to make the educators' lives a little bit easier, I would really appreciate.
Understood.
So Sean, Jamie, and I did a tour of all the new construction today. It's moving along really good, really fast. The brickwork has started on the south addition, and that's coming along, so that's good. That'll help the bus loop as soon as all the brickwork's done. So the other thing is, we had a meeting with the Pennachuck, Hayner Swanson and the Pennachuck Solar team today. Found out, got all the, what's going on with fencing and gates and all that stuff resolved. So we're all on the same page now, which is good. Okay. For any other questions? Nope. All right. PCOs from middle school, Pennachuck?
Okay, thank you. So these are 4 PCOs. Just a reminder, these are potential change orders. These are typically driven by existing conditions or proposal requests that were issued by the design team, or things that we that were developed as part of the construction process. So none of this work has been performed. It won't be performed unless it is approved by this group. So I'll take you through each of these items, and I guess we'll just take one at a time. So the first item on the agenda is change order number 23, and this is for HARRIMAN Architects proposal request number 25, and this is for new side court basketball hoops. So as part of the original design, there were only the full court basketball hoops were being replaced. Once we kind of got going, there were some safety concerns with the existing 4 side hoops that were remaining. There had been some complaints from the gym teachers that they were very difficult and they had to get on ladders and kind of use in an unsafe manner. So this also matches what we did over at Fairgrounds. So this proposal request includes replacing all of the basketball hoops in the gymnasium to match what was done over at Fairgrounds. So it would be a complete renovation of that space. So it includes demolition of the existing 4 basketball hoops that were supposed to remain, the installation of the new basketball hoops, and then providing electrical power to all of the 4 additional. Are there any questions as far as the scope? Jamie?
Sorry, I was just going to note that these 4 being proposed are motor operated, so that they would also fold up like was
Correct.
done at the other hoops at Fairgrounds, and also the 2 new ones that are already included in the project. So
The other consideration is that, I forget how many years ago it was when we started this project, 3 or 5, I forget, but we said we'd have equity among the 3 schools. Fairgrounds has all the new hoops on, including the side hoops. The new school's definitely going to have them. So it would not have been fair when we're doing the work in the gym to not do this. Plus, the custodians really didn't want to, it's cranking those things up. They get on a ladder, they could fall off, and anyway. So
Any other questions on the scope that is associated with this change order? So to furnish and install all of these basketball hoops, the grand total is $50,606.11.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve PCO number 23.
So moved.
Who said that?
I did. Sorry.
You got that, Sean? All right, so the motion is to approve. Any other questions?
I did have a question. Is it a kind of like?
Sure. Ms. Lou, Alderman Lou?
Thank you. So the basketball hoops that are being replaced, what is the difference between the 2, other than between the ones that are currently there and the ones that they're replacing them? Is it mainly the ability to self-raise?
Well, that's the big part, but there'll also be glass backboards like the other schools, all the other schools. And these backboards have been in place for, Sean, how many years? 28?
At least go back to the mid-90s.
Yeah, so,
Late 80s, I'm sorry, they go back to 1988.
So they're very difficult to move. So the biggest part of this is making them the key-operated mechanical. So it's, Jamie?
Thank you. Yeah, so the ones that are there are not motorized. So it's important to note that these ones are motorized, which makes it safer and easier to lift and bring down when needed. In addition, the new ones have modern day safety features like safety straps and things like that that allow it to be more safe. Now, it's not to say what's there is not safe in that manner. It's been there since the late 80s, like Mr. Smith just mentioned, but they are improved. They are glass as opposed to the solid backboards that were there before. The rims might be a little bit different. They have more of like the breakaway rim that doesn't necessarily break off. Or I mean, again, you haven't had issues with the ones that are there, but just updated features.
Does that answer your question, Alderman Lou? It does, thanks. Okay, any other questions?
Yes.
Mrs. Raymond?
Oh, I just wanted to know the turnaround time on that. Do we expect these to be in and installed in the timeline that we're looking at for everything else?
Yes, that's why this is an important item to bring forth tonight, so I can make sure that these can get installed and turned over in time for the start of school in the fall of 2022.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next.
Thank you. The next item is potential change order number 24, and this is for HARRIMAN proposal request number 17. And this is regarding the folding partitions that are going into the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade wings in the existing building. So this is kind of a design development item where there is a design, but we don't really know what we're dealing with until we can get into the building and see what's above the ceiling. So it was noted that during the submittal process that there was some additional steel and some reframing of soffit work and some various framing that needed to be revised. So this is all of that work that is associated with it. And this is for a grand total of $9,919.75.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve PCO number 24.
So moved.
Okay. And now, any discussion on this PCO? Alderman Lou?
Thank you. Is this increased cost already funded in the contingency or the otherwise?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Everybody knows what these are?
I don't.
Yeah.
So if
And this is why we have contingency, because it's the unknown unknowns until we open up the wall and go, whoa. But, so this is 9,000. So, any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Ken?
Thank you. The next item is potential change order number 25, and this is for HARRIMAN proposal request number 6, and this is for the swing space in the intervention rooms renovation. I think I'll let Jamie kind of take the reins on this one. He can explain.
So there's 4 existing. There was 4 intervention rooms in the kind of the heart of the school, center of the school. I won't call it the heart. I guess the center of the school. Well before this project, there were 2 rooms, and at some point they converted into 4 rooms. As part of this project unfolded during early construction, HARVEY, HARRIMAN, and the school district were looking at space defined for swing space so that the north portable could be removed so they could start their work out there. There's not a lot of space in this school for that need. So what was determined is that we could take those 4, in discussion with the principal, we could take those 4 intervention spaces, turn it back into 2 temporarily to allow those 2 classrooms from the portables to occupy that space. And in the meantime, the interventionists, I believe, are on carts, but I wouldn't be able to speak to that to be factual. In the meantime, while this work was going on, this proposal is to revert them back to 4 intervention spaces and renovating the space to meet ADA requirements, which some of the casework and things like that did not originally in there. It also provides the new partitions that would be going back in to separate it into 4. Those partitions before only went to the ceiling. So we are going to carry that all the way up to help keep sound from transmitting back and forth to each room. New ceilings, new paint, a couple new doors between those intervention spaces, and again, the new casework. So this kind of picks up all that space and brings these 2 spaces now going into back to 4, up to snuff with a modern renovation for those spaces. So,
Any questions? Oh, well, let's have a motion first to approve PCO number 25
So moved.
by Mrs. Raymond. Yes, question?
Will the new partitions be movable so that you could use the space as a 2 rooms or 4 rooms, or will it be permanently as 4 rooms?
that'll be permanent it's a hard wall with a door in it, so it'll be back to kind of like it was before, but improved.
And meet all the ADA standards, yes.
And was that the preference of the principal and the school staff?
Yeah, we actually met with the interventionist there, the principal, assistant principal was there, and a walkthrough. I think Mr. Smith was there, and we actually had a good conversation about that whole space, and that's what they're hoping for, yes.
Thank you.
In addition, this keeps us from having a schedule delay, so we can get rid of the portable and start building Mrs. Giglio's favorite library and IT area. Yes, Alderman Clee?
Thank you. I apologize I think I'm a little confused. So right now we have the portables.
A
north,
portable.
A portable, the north. And you're going to move those students into this space, is that correct?
The portable has already been removed, and these spaces has already reverted back to the 2 spaces.
Okay.
So this proposal is to bring it back to what it was before construction started, but again, improved,
Right.
better features and stuff that should be in a renovated space.
Okay, so that was where I was confused. So, okay, so we've already put the students there, done the 4, going to move them somewhere else, is that correct? And then put this back into 4 spaces?
Yes.
Got it, thank you.
Any additional questions? Mrs. Giglio?
Yeah, I just, was this something that was brought up by the staff? I mean, are you still meeting with the staff of the school as this project goes on to, see if there are changes that they feel would be more effective for the staff and the students?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. On an as-needed basis, if there's things that we're touching that have come up, usually we meet with the principal biweekly at the construction meetings, and he'll bring up things and concerns, and we have discussions. And then Mr. Smith and others from his staff are there too. So all these type of things it's not necessarily individually with the particular staff, but they have places to give feedback. And if we hear something, we would meet with them individually as needed. So.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Also in our biweekly meetings, Mr. Parker is there.
That's
So
right.
he's being kept aware of everything. Any other questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ken?
Thank you. The final PCO that we'll be presenting tonight is PCO number 26, and this is for HARRIMAN proposal request number 27, and it's to add 7 duct smoke detectors to various air handling units. So you're asking yourself what a duct smoke detector is. It's just like a smoke detector, but it goes inside of air handling unit. It's a group of devices used to detect the presence of smoke or fumes in the supply ductwork. So basically, if it detects that, it'll close the dampers and alert the fire alarm system. So this is work that's associated with adding duct smoke detectors to 7 duct smoke detectors to various units, and that is including electrical costs and control costs from the mechanical contractor. This is all required by the fire department. So
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's been required by the fire department, so we don't have a lot of choice on this. And it is a safety measure. If a fire breaks out, we'd have a much quicker advance notice. And so, does somebody make a motion to approve PCO 26?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Giglio. Any more questions on this,
Just a real quick question.
please?
Just to clarify, so it actually shuts down the duct so that the smoke won't go into like another room or go further?
Correct.
Right.
It's tied into the damper system, and it'll close, so it doesn't feed the fire.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
Does it notify the fire department too?
It's tied into the fire alarm.
Yeah, so if something like that happens, boom, you're gonna get immediate response. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, I'm gonna change the agenda a little bit. We're gonna talk about the GMP. Carl?
Thank you, Mr. Dowd. At the last meeting, if you recall, we reviewed the guaranteed maximum price, 77 million and change. What we're presenting tonight is to actually incorporate that amount as a legal document into the contract. This is the same document that was used both on Fairgrounds, and we presented another one for Pennachuck. This would be the final insertion of any work into a contract. So we're asking is for your concurrence and allowing Mr. Dow to sign the contract, and that would put contracts to bed on all three schools.
Also, it's the same contract that's been approved by Corporation Counsel, who went through it
Correct.
with a very fine tooth comb. And so, are there any questions on the GMP? I know it's a long,
Qu-
Alderman Lou?
Was that in the packet?
The information was sent out before the
Okay.
last meeting, actually.
Before the last meeting?
One, yeah.
Now the contract.
Oh, okay.
It was sent out so people could review it before tonight.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, would somebody like a motion to approve the GMP for the new middle school and to allow the chairman to sign the new contract for the middle school, contract addition to the new school?
I'll make that motion if you include the exact amount of the GMP. I only wrote 77.5.
77 million, he wish it was 77,000.
They're not
Buy
gonna
that in a heartbeat. $77,559,223.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Raymond made the motion. Are there additional questions? No? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Okay, switch glasses again, so I can see.
Could I ask a question about that?
Sure.
With the GMP, but increasing prices could bust us out of that, is that correct?
This,
We have if I may.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Mr. DuBois, since,
Alderman Lou, we have an allowance. As a matter of fact, you raised a question on it at the last meeting.
I can't get
That's,
straight.
no, that's fine. We've carried an allowance so that should a
Yeah.
potential claim or request be put in because of adverse conditions, we've got some money in there to cover that, so. And again, if that happens, we come back to you folks looking for approval to modify that contract.
we have contingencies to cover minor changes up and down. We're going to approve some things tonight for the new middle school so that we can lock in the price. And, but even in Pennachuck, we've had things go up and some things down, so we got money back. So that's why we have the contingency account.
And if I may just finish, if that portion of money is not used, again, 100% of any savings generated or any money not used goes back to the city.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll be there with my vacuum cleaner. Any other questions? Oh, Alderman, please.
It's not so much a question, but I just want to reiterate what we talked about in the past. If something goes way out of whack, we're not going to penalize, even though we have this guaranteed maximum price, there is that allowance that if it goes really crazy, we don't hold anybody's feet to the fire because we're not going to put anybody out of business.
No, we're going to
correct?
hold their feet to the fire, but if it becomes a legal condition, that we've got money
Right.
to cover that, so.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that. We talked about
But
it in the
it
past.
came up, if you all recall, we had a situation at Pennachuck.
Right.
I am really hoping, although I don't hold a lot of faith in it, I'm really hoping that the supply and demand in this country kind of balances itself out and prices start coming back down to something more reasonable in nature. To date, there's no evidence of that happening in the immediate future, but I try to stay positive and hope that that will occur someday in 2022. So.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that even though we have this, there's always that potential.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed it doesn't happen, but there is always that potential.
Right now, we have this document that gives us all what we know today.
Right.
And if anybody knows what's going to happen 2 years or a year downstream, I want to go buy lottery tickets with you. So, but this is their best estimate, and they do a pretty good job at it. Alderwoman Lou?
Just briefly, the reason I asked it is I just thought that I remember hearing about the process back when the PAC first began, and that was before COVID. And I just wondered whether, now that all these disruptions with COVID, that was a force majeure. That's when the term force majeure came to my, but increases in costs aren't necessarily force majeure, would they? I know you can't exactly answer that. It's a legal question.
It can be if it's above what one would consider the norm over a period of time.
Yeah? Oh,
And
okay.
that's actually what brought on the majority of the cost of Pennachuck, because
Yeah.
drywall and metal studs, the amount of increase has been astronomical this year. If I recall correctly, I think it was 30% in the first of the year, and then I got a notification that they were going up 10% every month for the next 3 months on metal studs. So we're still getting notifications on increases. I'm hoping that the way that we looked at it, based on what we have in contingencies and what we have to cover an issue like this, that this number is not going to go anywhere except down.
Okay, thanks. I was hoping to get an understanding of how that whole confidence that we get from the GMP has maybe changed or been affected by
It has. I
COVID.
mean, your point's valid. I mean, it 2 years ago, or prior to COVID, and I can tell you, doing this 41 years, I've never ran into the situations we're running into since COVID. And it's primarily the supply chain and manufacturers. It's not the subcontractors so much as it is the manufacturing base, which is outside of our control and in the subcontractor's control. It's interesting that, you wonder, I wonder sometimes what the basis is for some of the increases that we have been seeing. I mean, we've already been told that, light fixtures can expect another 10 to 14% increase coming up in the near future. So we're hoping that, try to get this locked down and then we don't face that type of thing. So, but again, the norm in construction runs around a 5% escalation per year. You could pretty much take that to the bank. It's come down twice in my career, but 3 to 5%. What we have experienced this year alone is in excess of 15 to 16%. And it's across the board. Sometimes it's just, could be ready-mix concrete. You get a notification. Typically, they come out at the end of the year saying, expect an increase next year. But this has been an ongoing event in just about every division that we deal with, whether it's steel, concrete, metals, plastics, conduit, piping. It's been an ongoing process. It's been an ongoing notification that we've been getting. Like I said, I'm hoping the only thing that has come down, believe it or not, and it's still well above pre-COVID levels. The only thing that's come down has been lumber, finally. Everything else is still up there. So.
Okay. And anytime there's a expenditure in excess of what was guaranteed, it has to be approved before we could ever vote on it. It has to be approved by the Corporation Council, like it was for Pennachuck.
Yep.
So And the other thing is, we have some things to approve tonight for the new middle school so that we can lock those prices in. So these are things that we need to have when we start building the school, and we want to make sure we have them and we lock the price in. But don't want to steal Ken's thunder. So I believe we had a motion to approve this, correct?
Yes, no.
Yes, I
Yes.
made the motion.
Any other questions? We already voted, too.
Yeah, we
All right,
did.
Never mind. Must have been the glasses. Okay, so now we get LORs for the new middle school, Ken.
Thank you, Alderman Dowd. So again, just to remind everybody, I think we all remember this process. I'm going to start by giving you a walkthrough of the scope of work for each bid package that we're presenting, the number of bidders, and then the contract value. If anyone has any questions at all about what this contractor is going to be doing for the project, just please let me know. I'll try to do my best to answer your question. Again, all of these 11 packages that I'm presenting tonight for your approval are all packaged in the GMP that was just approved. These are all fairly straightforward. Again, these are important packages because we need to lock the prices in, get the contracts out the door tomorrow morning, and make sure that we avoid these escalations that we just discussed. And these are all fairly straightforward. All the contractors being recommended tonight are the highest qualified low bid in the bidding process. So with that, I'll get going with the first package, and this is for the concrete foundations package. Scope of work incorporated in this bid package is to form and place all concrete footings, walls, and piers, all the elevator pits. This includes multiple concrete pump mobilizations. That means we've covered a certain number of mobilizations for them to come to the job site and perform the work. And this is also, they are tasked with installing and tying all of the reinforced steel that is furnished by HARVEY as part of the project. So for this bid package, we did receive 2 qualified bids that were vetted out, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, that is Form Up Foundations of Ringe, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $730,406.00.
Which is the low bidder. Lowest qualified bidder.
Correct.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the scope of work for concrete foundations to Form Up Foundations of Ringe, New Hampshire, in the amount of $730,406. Who would like to make that motion?
Oh, so moved.
This is Raymond. Okay, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Alderman Dowd. The next package is the concrete flat work. So similar to the last package that was approved, this is to form and place all the concrete slabs. So basically anything on the ground, grade, and deck. Also placing all the exterior sidewalks, equipment pads for mechanical, electrical equipment, dumpster pads, and concrete locker bases in the new locker rooms. Again, multiple site mobilizations to complete the project per our sequencing plan, and also tie and install all reinforcing steel furnished by HARVEY as part of the project. For this package, we received 3 bids, and we are recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is CCS Concrete of Tewksbury, Massachusetts, for a total contract value of $498,307.00.
So I'd like to entertain a motion for the award of concrete flat work to CCS Concrete LLC of Tewksbury, Mass. in the amount of $498,307.
So moved.
Giglio? Questions? Is that the same company that's doing Penetrate?
Correct.
Oh, that was amazing watching them this morning. That guy riding that machine was having a lot of fun.
A lively bunch on the slab placement. Yeah. A lot of yelling.
Yeah, and they started, and how long? Didn't take very long.
3 hours.
3 hours to pour that whole fun. That was great. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next package is the material only for the aforementioned steel reinforcement for the concrete foundation, walls, footings, and flatwork. This is to furnish all the wire mesh and accessories for all of the exterior slabs as well, and any dowels required for tie-in locations. For this package, we received 3 bidders, and we are recommending the lowest qualified bidder. That is Harris Rebar, Barker Steel of Canaan, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $223,381.00.
I'd like to have somebody make a motion to approve the steel reinforcement concrete scope of work to Harris Rebar / Baker Steel LLC of Canaan, New Hampshire, in the amount of $223,381.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next package is the masonry package. The scope of work covered here is to furnish and install all concrete masonry unit walls, perform all the brick veneer installation, all the precast sills, window sills, all the grouting and reinforcement of the masonry, and to also provide all the flashing and weeps and of the wall assemblies as shown in the HARRIMAN documents. This contractor is the lowest qualified bidder. They're also performing the masonry at Pennachuck. That we did receive 3 bids, and it's I'm recommending George W. Pinn Masonry of Plastow, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $2,348,213.00.
Yeah, this is a lot of the work. I'd like to have a motion to approve the work from masonry to George W. Payne Masonry, Inc. of Plastow, New Hampshire, in the amount of $2,348,213.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ken?
Thank you. The next package we'll be going through is the doors, frames, and hardware. The scope of work entailed in this bid package is to furnish all of the hollow metal doors and frames, all of the wood doors and frames, all of the door hardware that's associated throughout the building, and installation of all of the aforementioned items. We did receive 4 bids. We're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that is Campco Supply Corporation of Londonderry, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $899,000.00.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to award the scope of work for doors, frames, and hardware to Camco Supply Corp. of Londonderry, New Hampshire, in the amount of $899,000.
So moved.
All right, motion's been made. Any questions? All right, seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Ken?
The next package is for the aluminum, glass, and glazing. The scope of work is pretty intensive for this. This is a lot of the stuff that you'll see on the exterior of the building and a lot of the main passageways inside the building. The interior and exterior storefront systems, all of the aluminum entrances and hardware and windows, of the glass and glazing, the various skylights throughout the windows, sunshades, translucent panels, all the brake metal flashing that you'll see at each window and around the openings, and this also includes all of the installation. We did receive 4 bids for this package, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder. That is Portland Glass of Lee, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $2,568,435.00.
So I'd like to have a motion to approve the scope of work for aluminum, glass, and glazing to Portland Glass of Lee, New Hampshire, in the amount of $2,568,435.
So moved.
Okay. Any questions? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ken?
Thank you. The next package is the metal lockers. This is to furnish and install all of the new metal lockers throughout the building, and also includes their own hoisting, so basically they'll be providing their own lull to get the lockers up to the second and third stories of the building. There were 4 bidders, 4 bids received, and we are recommending the lowest qualified bidder. That is J. Solis and Sons of Woburn, Massachusetts, for a total contract value of $202,770.00.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the scope of work for the metal lockers to J. Solis and Sons, Inc. of Woburn, Mass. in the amount of $202,777. $202,770.
So moved.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Oh, that was me again, sorry. I do that in our meetings too. I have no idea
Yeah, you might have to
Put your
raise
hand
your
up,
hand
yeah.
because you can't see your lips moving. Okay, any questions on this one? By the way, the new lockers used in the middle school is so much better than the old ones. It's amazing. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Again?
We'll move into the elevator package. The scope of work is to furnish and install all of the hydraulic elevators, the hoistway entrances, all of the hardware, installation, provide an operator, and the warranty. This also includes owner training of the new elevator. There were 2 bids received, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, that is Stanley Elevator Company, Nashua, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $237,640.00.
Okay. And I think there are 4 elevators. How many elevators do we have? You remember? More than one.
Yeah, 2.
2, okay. So I'd like to entertain a motion to award the scope of work for elevators to the Stanley Elevator Company in Nashua, New Hampshire, in the amount of $237,640.
So moved.
Okay. Are there any questions on the elevators? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ken?
The next package is the fire protection sprinkler package, and this is fairly self-explanatory. This covers all of the permitting and fees required by the state of New Hampshire. Per HARRIMAN's design, it includes all testing, calculations, and coordination to complete the project. There were 3 bids received, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder. They performed the work over at Fairgrounds. This is John L. Carter Sprinkler Company of Bow, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $427,800.00.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion for the scope of work for fire protection to John L. Carter Sprinkler Company, Inc. of Bow, New Hampshire, in the amount of $427,800.
So moved. That's Heather.
Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next package is the plumbing and mechanical package. This is a combined package that will be performed by the same contractor. Scope of work includes all, as with the fire protection, all permitting and fees, all mechanical ductwork, piping, and equipment, all piping and equipment for plumbing, all plumbing fixtures and accessories, automated temperature controls by Control Technologies. That's a subcontractor to this contractor. All testing, adjusting, and balancing, all testing and water sterilization, and this contractor will also be leading the coordination process throughout the construction. We did receive 4 bids for this contract, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder of Palmer and Sicard from Exeter, New Hampshire, for a total contract value of $12,928,331.00.
So I need a motion to approve the scope of work for plumbing and mechanical to Palmer and Sicard, Inc. of Exeter, New Hampshire, in the amount of $12,928,331.
So moved.
Motion's made.
Alderwoman Lou.
Alderman Lou?
I think I said it with someone else, right?
No.
No.
I think you just echoed.
Oh, it must have.
Okay. All right, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. The final package for tonight, and one of the more important packages, is the electrical package. And this includes all permitting and fees, service and electrical gear. The gear means panels, transformers, and switchboards. This includes the furnish and install of the 500 kilowatt generator, interior, exterior lighting and controls, power and wiring to all mechanical equipment that was previously approved, the furnish and install of the new addressable fire alarm system. That's a silent night system that has been installed at Fairgrounds and will be installed at Pennachuck. Also includes all communications. That's the furnish and install of the wired clock and intercom systems, all the tel data and cable TV rough-in system, rough-in. Security, that includes access points, motion sensors, interior, exterior cameras, commissioning, and training. It includes all testing and owner training, and it also includes attic stock for basically whatever plant operations will require. We go through a list of items. Attic stock is extra things that they may need for service and maintenance. We received 3 bids for this scope of work, and we're recommending the lowest qualified bidder, and that's Longchamps Electric of Manchester, New Hampshire, for a total value of $6,359,792.00.
So I'd entertain a motion for the award of the work for electrical to Longchamps Electric, Inc. of Manchester, New Hampshire, in the amount of $6,359,792.
So moved. So moved.
Okay.
I got the
Any-
hang of it.
Any questions? By the way, this is a big scope of the work. Oh, yes, Mrs. Raymond?
Thank you. Did they do the electrical in either of the other projects?
No, the other 2 projects were performed by a smaller electrical company. A reason that we chose this company is that they were able to staff a project with this large of a size. So we're fairly confident that this company can perform the work.
Okay, great. And then the other question I had is regarding the security systems and such. That will be aligned with all of the other security systems that we have in all the other schools?
Correct. So
With whatever Chris Lassard wants?
correct. It's fully coordinated with Chris and Mr. Smith as well. So Allied Security performs all of the school's security items, and we coordinate also with TNT. So we coordinate closely with all the city of Nashua's contractors.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
this is
that.
a much bigger job than even Pennachuck because
Yeah.
it's start from scratch on the building, so. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Ken. Oh,
That was a lot.
we're off and running. Let's see.
Alderman Dowd?
Yes, Mr. DuBois.
For keeping track of what you approved, tonight was 27.5 million of the 77.
Rain Man over there. Yeah, I was gonna say,
Felt it.
the most important pieces have been now secured, so.
Say it again, Mr. DuBois, 27 point,
Of 77. It felt
All right.
powerful.
thank you. Yeah,
Okay, who
Big
has the
schools,
photo
big
of the,
numbers.
who has the photo of the new entrance to? Oh, that's not the entrance, that's the new bus entrance. Yeah. So everybody got a picture, that picture. Should've got a bus on it, actually. I should've taken that when I was there. But, works real well. I mean, it's just the preliminary coating, it'll the final coating in the spring. And there are a few other things that need to be done to take care of that. And so, all right. The minutes for, the meeting dates for 2022, Mr. Smith?
I didn't even bring it with me, but same sort of schedule as this year. So wherever you have a major holiday, we move this meeting forward a week. Where you have a school vacation week, typically at the last week of the month, then this meeting again moves forward a week. It'll be the same sort of schedule we had this year.
Okay, time to pay some bills. Mr. Smith?
Okay, I'll read these again from the agenda. They're also on the financial sheets that you all received. Okay. First one's Allied Universal. They are the security contractor. One invoice for $1,310 for work at Pennachuck Middle School. We have 3 invoices from HARRIMAN for work at each of the 3 middle schools, totaling $75,738.95. We have 1 invoice from HARVEY Construction for work at Pennachuck. They're going to hold off on fairgrounds until the September meeting. That invoice for Pennachuck is $739,852.33. Carl, you told me you don't charge us pennies.
Not on the contract, John.
HSI, which is Hayner Swanson, they're our surveying company. They provided 2 invoices for work. Both were at the new middle school, totaling $2,171.31. I have 1 invoice from John Turner Consulting, that's our testing company, for work at Pennachuck, $3,320. 1 invoice, which is their final invoice for work at Fairgrounds Middle School from RPF Environmental. They are our industrial hygienist, for $594. And the final one is from the Turner Group. Turner Building Science actually is their formal title. 2 invoices for work at Fairgrounds Middle School and Pennachuck. They do the commissioning work for us, make sure all the ventilation systems are working properly and as designed. Those 2 invoices totaled $24,484.39. And from the financial sheet, all that totals $847,470.97.
All right, I need a motion to approve the payment of the following invoices for HARVEY Construction, $739,852.33. HARRIMAN A&E, $75,738.94. Hayner Swanson, $2,171.31. RPF Environmental, $594. Turner Building Science, $24,484.39. Allied Universal, $1,310. And John Turner Consulting, $3,320 for a grand total of $847,470.97. Who would like to make that motion?
So moved.
Okay. The motion is made. Any discussion? Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Comments by committee members? Anybody have anything they'd like to talk about? Just so you know, Franklin Street's still in progress. We'll get back to you as soon as we have a meeting with DPW and the superintendent and everybody. We have some ideas, but there are different alternatives, but we'll somehow fix it. But we got to work with DPW. We don't need a non-public. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion is to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at 8 o'clock.